Hey there, Otaku! Are you ready to see one of the largest, if not the largest, collection of video game consoles that are plugged in and readily playable on the internet today? Stop by in February. I'll be counting down all of my systems right here on Go Mega OTAKU Gamer Alpha. You'll get to see them all, you'll get to see your favorites, you'll get to see ones you've never even heard of. Check out my massive collection, coming in February. Hey there, Otaku, Ken-chan back with another episode of Go Mega OTAKU Gamer Alpha. Last week, I got some things in the mail. I always get things in the mail. But, anyway, this is one of the things I got. This is a game called Burn Cycle, and it was for the CDI. Okay, and this is the deluxe version. Okay, you open it up here, and you have the disc there, but if you keep opening it, let's see, which way does it go here? Here we go. There's that disc. If you keep opening it, it has the music soundtrack here as well. This is the limited edition version of Burn Cycle. I've been waiting about 20 years to play this. When it was first out and the CDI was out, the CDI, of course, was about $700. I remember seeing a commercial for Burn Cycle, actually an ad plastered on the side of a bus when I was living in Philadelphia. I'm riding on another bus, I look out, I see a bus over here, and it has a big old Burn Cycle ad plastered on the side. So, I think I've given away the machine we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about the CDI, and this is, I have the Magnavox version here. Okay, and we'll take a look at this in a moment here. Now, the Philips CDI was a 16-bit CD-ROM based system that was released to us in 1991 and priced at $699, $699. That's Philips. This is a Magnavox. This came a little later. What Philips did was they licensed the technology for this to other manufacturers, kind of like what 3DO did. This was very similar to what the 3DO was. The 3DO, I think, was 32-bit, though. This is a 16-bit system. This counts with the 4th generation. This actually shows up here in the 4th generation. It's considered a 4th generation console. It was available in October of 1991 in North America. In EU in 1992. It was discontinued in 1998. They sold 570,000 units. And of course the specs that I'm going, this information of course comes under the heading of Philips CDI. Magnavox, again, they were one of the Deity companies that kind of made one. It used CDI media, audio CD, CD&G, karaoke CD, and VCD. We're going to take a look at a little bit of that, too. That's interesting. The CPU was a Philips SCC 68070. The graphics processor was a Philips SCC 66470. And the best-selling game was Hotel Mario. Now, what had happened is Nintendo, a little bit about the Philips thing. Nintendo was not looking for a CD-ROM add-on for their machine. They looked around and they saw that TurboGrafx had one, Sega had a CD-ROM add-on, and they really saw no point to it. Sony came along and said, we want to manufacture a CD-ROM for you. we want to call it the Sony PlayStation, and we want all the profits from the games that go on it. And Nintendo said, yeah, all right. So, and at the last minute, they said, no, sorry, Sony, we're not going to do that. We're going to go with Philips, which is what, set Sony off, and they determined to get their revenge on Nintendo. So they went and they made, the PlayStation, and the rest is history. But, and for a time, Nintendo was in bed with Philips. They wanted them. They went to them and said, "Hey, develop us some CD-ROM technology," and in return, they licensed Philips some of the to the CDI anyway. They licensed some of their franchises, like Mario and Link. Those games, of course, are really rare. Some of them are kind of expensive, and they're not really all that good anyway. But this was the CDI was an interim system. It was kind of between, a Sega Genesis and something like a PlayStation. Maybe not as powerful as an Atari Jaguar, but certainly better looking than a Sega CD. Very much like the 3DO as well, the CDI made these promises. They tried to position themselves as a multimedia device that replaces your PC, it replaces your VCR, and it puts all that crap in your living room. What killed that was the fact that there was no hard drive, no mouse, no keyboard, and the screen, of course, was just a standard television. It was a little too early for something like that, and that's why anybody that tried to do that like that ultimately failed at that time. Nowadays we have PS3 and Xbox 360, and that the technology is there for something like that to be, something a little bit more entertaining than your PC. You'll see or notice these days PC sales are falling. Especially desktops. Those aren't being bought by very many people anymore. There will always be probably some kind of demand for them, but they're just not what they used to be. Let's take a look at this machine. And of course I said what I have here is actually the Magnavox version of the device, the CDI. And let's take a look at this machine. It's a top loader. And this pops open like so. And there's your CD reader in there. On the front, all you have here is your input. This connects your controller. I have a wireless controller for this right now. Controllers for these things, even though there's like a million different kinds, they're actually, it's hard to come across any of them really. Here's an on-off switch right here. Turns the power on and off. Here's the back. And you're looking, oh, look at the big Ethernet switch. No. Or the big Ethernet slot. No. That's not Ethernet. That's the power. That's the DC power right there. And here we have, this is a DC out for whatever reason. And then you have your AV, standard AV jacks right there. Mounted right on the thing. Not a proprietary thing, but standard. Nothing there. So, sparse, easy. You plug it in, you turn it on. Okay, this is the controller here. And as I said, this is a wireless controller. Here's the infrared right here. The actual controller that plugged in for this unit, that came with it, actually is the same kind of design as this. It's a wand thing like this. Okay. But it has the paddle end. This how this makes a paddle right here. The paddle end is a little bit bigger. Not really meant to be held like this. All your buttons are right here. So you end up, when you play the games on this, you end up with a two-handed thing here. It's like both your hands on this. I don't want to let go of the camera and show you, because you wouldn't see it, because I wouldn't be holding the camera then. But just try to imagine two hands holding onto this. Here's your directional, and here's a click button, you know, fire or whatever, and these 3 buttons here you have. Some of these games, though, probably a lot of these games, work on a simple, like, point and click type thing. I wouldn't recommend playing anything with one hand. This is another testimony of bad design right here. That's, anyway, this is the wireless version of the controller that came with this. I don't have the hub here to show it to you. I'll show it to you when it's plugged in. But that's your unit right there, this 16-bit machine. Okay, before we get too heavily into this here, I told you I would show you this. This is the wireless infrared reader for the CDI. And it sits in front of the television like that. Now we're going to take a look at a little bit of this, a little bit of burn cycle here for you. And this is a very, very interesting game, very ambitious. They went way out of their way for this. Remember, this is 16-bit. This looks really good for 16-bit. This blows away the Sega Genesis, the CD for the Sega Genesis.
Cutter, come in, Cutter. What's happening? Are you alright?
I tried to think, but my thoughts raced around.
This is your basic, like, point and click type thing. If you ever played Myst, then you have an idea of what this is. This is kind of like Myst meets Deadless Encounter meets Siberia. The first Siberia, not the Siberia with a C, not Siberia with an S. See, the whole thing is here. I'm going to point at this, and there a little hand shows up, and you grab that, put it in your kitty.
I'm okay. The data must have packaged it up. I gotta set the software.
It's been made. Just get out of there and fast.
And you basically point and click your way through this. Yeah, there's the arrow going that way, and that's the way you go. Whoop, I bought it there. Anyway, you get the idea. Very, very ambitious project. Looks good for 16-bit. And, of course, you can... you have to save the games to restore them, but the save is only temporary. Okay, where would we be in this world without Mad Dog McCree? Oh my god.
Mad Dog McCree's gang's taking over the town. The mayor and his daughter were taken hostage out to Mad Dog's hideout. The sheriff, he's locked up in jail. We're going to have to get him out to help with the gang. Can you help? Good. What more important? Hey, old pusher, don't tell him a thing.
I was trying to reload, sorry about that. I swear I hit both of them.
Looking for trouble, stranger?
Now I know I hit him that time. Not the most accurate thing in the world. Here, we'll try the bank.
This was a good man you shot. Population.
Yes, you moron.
You better learn on the sharpshooter, stranger. Only got 2 lives.
He just told me I better work on my sharpshooting. He better work on his acting.
You better get lucky, or you're gonna be dead. You've only got 1 life left. It's showdown time, stranger. It's a host in the iron. We're gonna see how fast.
Now, there is, of course, a gun that you can get for this. I would have no idea where to begin looking for something. Well, I know where to begin looking for something like that. Yeah, anyway, the gun is probably the best way to do this game. As you saw, I was, highlighted in red. My crosshairs were right on these people as I'm shooting them, and it's not registering. But maybe that's, why you never heard of American laser games. Anyway, let's look at something else. Anyway, as this is booting up, this is how I'm holding this to play this game. Directional, fire. Or, well, not this game, but games, period. Hold it like that. And this is the 7th guest. And this is one of those, again, point-and-click type things like Myst or one of those.
My, isn't this a cheery place?
Did you see her face turn into a skull there for a second?
Edward, I'm not sure we should have been here today.
Why? Because it's a spooky old house? Don't worry, dear. I'll watch out for you.
Okay, and this is how this works. You kind of, I guess it's like a mystery type thing. You have your hand there, and it tells you which way to go. You can go over here. And it takes it a while. You hit it, and it takes it a while to do it. But the idea is you explore the house. And it's like some kind of like ghost mystery type thing. Like Scooby-Doo would really dig this. Let's go up the stairs here. This is actually a game you could probably do a lot of this with just one hand. Oh, wow. Wow, that's scaring me. Not. Oh, let's see if I can look at any of these other doors first. A door. Can I go in? Can I open it? No. Can't open that door either. Go for this one. Nope. I'm at the wrong end of the hallway altogether. Explore the house. Nope. Nothing. Graphics look pretty good, but then again, it's not really doing anything for it to make the graphics look bad. Well, that's a skinny door. Let's see if I can get in there. Nope. Huh, wee-wee-oo. She's pulling me that way. Probably something happened down there. But anyway, before we get too heavily involved in this nonsense, this gives you an idea of capabilities of the machine. So, well, sort of, you know, it's 16-bit machine. This does an adequate job, really. For a 16-bit machine, this really does an adequate job. Again, this kind of game isn't for everybody. You can see, you know, why for $700, you know, $650, $700, this machine really just it never gained any traction. Okay, this machine, obviously, as you can see, is really not meant for just anyone. Despite the fact that they tried to make it for just anyone. It was supposed to, again, replace your PC and your VCR. Okay, here's something else I want to turn you on to. This is The Silence of the Lambs. It is a CDI movie. And what this is we open this up here, and this is actually 2 discs to watch this movie. And this is before DVDs. This is a standard, just a regular old CD. This is, you know, on a 16-bit, you know, machine, 16-bit playback. And the quality of this is like about that of videotape. Maybe, I hesitate to say it, but I will. Maybe it's not quite as good as videotape. But point is, this was very ambitious also. They were trying to do everything. They were really trying to replace everything. You know, your PC and your VCR and all that stuff with the CDI. With that, I will leave you with this, Otaku. Hardcore collectors only. They didn't have that many movies, although this is interesting to throw in and watch, you know, on the CDI. Hardcore collectors only. There's really not that much in the way of fantastic games. And if you're going to buy any of the Nintendo games for this system, you can expect to pay up to, well, a lot of money. A lot of money. I won't get into specific prices, but, you know, if you look around on eBay and you look around on Amazon and things like that, you'll see just how much those kinds of games go for. So, you know, for the hardcore collector, though, this is definitely something you have to have. The CDI. But other than that, for just the casual collector that wants to play, don't bother. Something's going to happen where you're not going to be able to get a controller for it or something. So there you have it. It's the Magnavox CDI.